Hello, friends. How do you personally feel about the homeless? Do you help these people or do you just walk by with your eyes down? We often see homeless people walking through the street, sitting on the ground, or trying to keep warm in subways and apartment buildings. While some of us treat them with understanding, others simply try not to notice them, and some are even disgusted by them. But be that as it may, the heroine of today's story shows that even despite the cruelty of the modern world, there is still kindness, sympathy, and mercy in it. She had no idea who was standing in front of her, but it just so happened that the whole world knew this poor fellow. But let's start at the beginning. One day, Corinne and her family came from France to the Big Apple to have a good time. The woman worked in France in the field of tourism, and she had been dreaming of a trip to New York for a long time. This vacation was supposed to be unforgettable for her, which is exactly what it was. During another walk through the noisy streets of the city, Corinne, along with her son and husband, went to the nearest cafe and ordered pizza for themselves. Everything was fantastic. The pizza was delicious, and the mood was great. But suddenly, the woman's gaze fell on a homeless man rummaging through a trash can located right next to the pizzeria. Corinne immediately noticed the poor man and also noticed the large masses of people who were just rushing by along the sidewalks and not paying attention to the downtrodden man. As the woman herself later recalled, "At that moment, I felt very sorry for him, and her heart became heavy with pity." Without a minute's hesitation, Corinne took a large slice of pizza and went out to the homeless man, who was at that moment finishing eating something from the garbage. She approached him and politely handed him the bag of food. To say that the vagrant was surprised would be an understatement. He asked, "What's in the bag?" Corinne tried to answer in English, but she still said half of the phrase in French. "Sorry, but the pizza is cold." With that, the pleasantly surprised homeless man took the bag and replied, "Thank you so much. I'm sure the Lord won't leave your affairs unnoticed. God bless you." It seemed like Corinne had done the same thing that any normal person with a heart would do, and she could move on. But as it turned out, this wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. After all, she couldn't have imagined who this man was. 2 days later, Corinne and her family were having breakfast in a small cafe near the hotel, when a hotel employee brought a fresh issue of the New York Post to the unsuspecting French tourist, and to the family's great surprise, there was a photo of her with the homeless person on the front page. As Corinne herself recalled, "I had no idea what was going on and how that photo could end up in the newspaper. We were all so confused, but then something incredible happened." The hotel employee asked if we really didn't know who it was in the photo. And when we answered no, he opened our eyes. As it turned out, the homeless man who had been rummaging through the trash can was none other than the Hollywood star Richard Gere. But how can this be? And what was he doing there, you might ask? It's very simple. A movie was being filmed in New York City, in which Richard Gere was playing a homeless man. The scene by the garbage can, in which he had been rummaging for food, was part of the movie. And it just so happened that somehow Corinne and her family had wandered onto the set, which they hadn't even suspected because of the crowds of extras. At first, Richard didn't understand what was happening because there was no woman with a pizza in the script, but he soon figured out that the sweet lady from France was simply mistaken and didn't recognize him in his makeup. He gladly accepted the food and thanked her for it, and for a long time after, he was impressed by how kind and caring people could be. Not long after, the photos and story of the ordinary French woman and the Golden Globe winner flew around the world, and upon returning home, Corinne herself was interviewed and even asked for autographs. As for Richard, he would later go on to say that he would like to thank the woman personally. But I don't know if that ever happened. But no matter how it turned out, Corinne always speaks about how important it is to see people as people. And if you have the means to help someone in need, then you must, because for them, it could be the most important thing in the world. Just stop and look around. Maybe the person you help today will help you tomorrow. So that's the story, friends. Write in the comments about what you personally would have done if you were Corinne. Also, rate this video if you liked it. See you soon.